Welcome to our daily reflection for this Monday, March 31st. And today we get a great promise in the Old Testament from the prophet Isaiah at the very end of the great long book of the prophet Isaiah. In Isaiah chapter 66, God promises to usher in a new creation. So the Creator speaks about a new creation. And then we hear this in Psalm 30 in a sense of poetically, the kind of change that God can bring. And so David will pray that at night there's weeping, but with the dawn there is rejoicing and joy. And so the idea that we'll go from a night of lamentation, distress, stress, to a dawning new day of God's blessing and relief and healing and joy. And so that movement from night to day, from a new dawning of a new creation, in a sense, is exactly what we see with the psalmist who prays to God. But we also see this lived out in the gospel today. Jesus returning back to Galilee from Judea, and an official comes to Jesus asking for his child to be healed. And his child is near death. And like the psalmist in Psalm 30, with the night and in that dark time of his child's great illness, there's stress, there's anxiety, there's tears, there's weeping, there's sadness. And there'll be a new dawn when Jesus tells him, go return, your child will live. And then he figures out when he goes back on that journey back home, that what time did the child recover? At 1 p.m. And it was the hour, the very moment that Jesus had told him and promised him that his child would live. And that's the moment his child is healed. And that healing from death to life is Jesus doing a sign. Now, what is that sign? What's the sign pointing to? Because we're told at the end of the gospel today, this was the second sign Jesus did when he came in Galilee from Judea. So what is that sign referring to when he goes from Judea to Galilee? It's a sign of new creation. And so just as the first sign he did when he came from Judea to Galilee was changing the water into wine, which bespoke a new creation imagery, now this other sign of taking a child that's on the point of death, dying, to life and fullness of life is again a sign of new creation, which is exactly what the church is framing us to expect with that first reading from Isaiah 66, with the promise of a new creation, and that sorrow will cease and joy will come. Sorrow is a mark of the old creation. Joy is a mark of the new. And so today, as we reflect on what these signs mean of Jesus going from Judea and Jerusalem to Galilee and doing these signs, of course, it's a sign pointing to when he comes from Jerusalem and Judea in the resurrection, and then they see the resurrected Lord in Galilee. So this is all a sign pointing to a new creation of which the resurrection will be the embodiment of. And so let's ponder these things as we prepare for Jesus coming from Judea in his paschal mystery and in the glory of the resurrection that we will celebrate at Easter. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.